evening. The United States is exempting the Philippines from its pause on global security foreign aid. Foreign Affairs spokesperson Teresita Daza confirms on Monday, February 24, that a waiver was issued to a portion of U.S. foreign military financing for the Philippines. According to Daza, the Philippines and the U.S. remain committed to their treaty alliance. She says both countries are also committed to efforts that strengthen defense cooperation and interoperability. Daza adds that the Philippines will continue to engage the U.S. government on the importance of bilateral work in supporting shared goals and priorities. A Reuters report earlier disclosed that the Trump administration released $5.3 billion in a previously frozen foreign aid, mostly for security and counter-narcotics programs. Shortly after stepping into power, U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order freezing all U.S. foreign assistance for 90 days, pending a review of foreign aid policies. Trump has frequently criticized foreign aid as wasteful spending that does not directly benefit American citizens. The foreign aid freeze raised serious concerns internationally, including the Philippines, who is a key recipient. On the 10th day of hospitalization, the Vatican says Pope Francis is resting after a quiet night. In a brief update on Monday afternoon, Manila time, the Vatican says the night passed well as the Pope slept. The Vatican's one-line statement does not explicitly say if the Pope had woken up. Earlier Monday, the Vatican said the Pope's blood tests showed early kidney failure that was nevertheless under control. They said Pope Francis remained in critical condition. But the Vatican noted the Pope did not experience any further respiratory crisis since Sunday Manila time. According to the Vatican, he was receiving high flows of supplemental oxygen and was alert. They said his prognosis was guarded. Doctors have also warned that the main threat facing Francis is sepsis, a serious infection of the blood that can occur as a complication of pneumonia. There has been no reference to any onset of sepsis in the medical updates provided by the Vatican so far. The 88-year-old Pope has a pre-existing lung disease. He was admitted to the hospital on February 14 after a week-long bout of bronchitis worsened. This hospitalization marks the longest of his papacy, equal to his 2021 hospitalization when part of his colon was removed. The Pope's condition revived speculation about what might happen if he becomes incapacitated and whether he might resign. President Bongbong Marcos says the Philippines stands united with the world in praying for the recovery of Pope Francis. In a social media post on Monday, February 24, Marcos expresses sadness over the Pope's critical health condition. The president then prays for the Pope's strength and recovery in order to carry on his mission of faith and love for humanity. The Vatican says Pope Francis was resting after a quiet night as of Monday afternoon, Manila time. In an update earlier Monday, the Vatican said Pope Francis remained in critical condition but was alert. While he did not experience any further respiratory crisis, the Vatican said the Pope was still receiving high flows of oxygen. Blood tests also showed initial mild kidney failure, but doctors said it was under control. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle on Sunday, February 23, called on the faithful to pray for the Pope's healing. Pope Francis last visited the Philippines in 2015, the third Pope to do so. His papal visit included a trip to Leyte to comfort the survivors of Super Typhoon Yolanda. Senate President Cheese Escudero rejects former President Rodrigo Duterte's accusation that President Bongbong Marcos is veering toward a dictatorship. In a message to reporters Monday, February 24, Escudero defends President Marcos, who he has known for over a decade now. Escudero emphasizes that he does not subscribe to Duterte's pronouncements that Marcos Jr. will declare martial law like his father, late dictator Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Escudero believes Marcos Jr. won't do so, citing the president's attitude, outlook, and work ethic as the basis. The Senate chief also slams Duterte for supposedly changing his tune regarding the president's leadership. According to Escudero, Duterte and his allies previously accused Marcos Jr. of being a weak leader, but now say he has dictatorial tendencies. He describes the accusations against the president as inconsistent, irrational, and untrue. Duterte earlier said he was willing to bet that Marcos Jr. will not step down when his term ends and declare martial law like his father. The palace already dismissed the latest tirades against the president by describing Duterte as a one-man fake news factory. Lawmakers are urging President Bongbong Marcos anew to call for a special congressional session to kickstart Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment trial. In a joint statement Monday, February 24, the Makabayan Bloc says the special session will allow the Senate to convene as an impeachment court and move with the proceedings even if on break. Makabayan Bloc lawmakers consist of ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro, Gabriela Party List Representative Arlene Brosas, and Kabataan Party List Representative Raul Manuel. According to the three lawmakers, the Duterte camp's legal moves call for more urgency in convening a special session. They believe Duterte's petition before the Supreme Court to stop the impeachment will further delay and derail the process. The Makabayan lawmakers also slammed the supposed political interests and electoral considerations that obstruct constitutional processes. They also noted that if Marcos is open to a special session, he should no longer wait for a call from either Senate President Escudero or House Speaker Martin Romualdez. They further emphasized that the time for decisive action on the impeachment is now. Last week, two petitions seeking to stop the impeachment trial were filed before the Supreme Court. In the first petition, Mindanao-based lawyers argued that the House supposedly did not observe the Constitution's rules. Duterte herself filed the second petition, which cites a supposed violation of the Constitution that only one impeachment complaint would be initiated against a sitting official per year. Escudero has been adamant that Duterte's fate will be decided by the 20th Congress starting in July. But Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel urged the Senate leadership to act on Duterte's impeachment without delay. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.